Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going through a speed through, I guess, of this LPS that I customized. It's a Collie, and if you follow me on Instagram, then you've probably already seen it. Now, what I started off with was a little drawing. It wasn't meant to be perfect or anything. It was just a quick little sketch, I guess, with coloring. It just wasn't really meant to be pretty, but it was just to help with ideas before I started anything. Now here is where I started getting my tools, because I was going to be doing some sculpting for the hair. I was originally planning to do some extra fur, but I just decided not to do it because collies are really difficult to sculpt on, especially around their body, especially collies, because of their balance. It's really difficult to balance them, I won't lie. So here I'm just getting a little piece of clay because I didn't plan to do a lot. So what I do is I just roll the clay out into a little noodle, I guess. I'm just trying to heat up the clay a bit so that it gets more, less rough, I guess. And then I just roll them out to little noodles and I place them how I want. And with the tool, just helping smooth it out. And only do this with parental permission. I use a lighter because I don't like air dry clay. But that's just because I'm impatient, but you can use an oven. And then I use super glue to help place it. I'm letting that dry. And originally I was planning to maybe put a scarf on it or something using that little ribbon stuff that I got. I got it a long time ago. And there I'm using super glue just to place it down, which while I was doing that, it wouldn't place for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah. And there is where I'm getting these little hoops because I wanted to put piercings on his ears. Not a lot, but just these two little hoops, and there I'm using whatever that tool is to cut them a little bit because they're complete circles and I don't want that. So I super glue them, as you can obviously see, but I super glue them and I place them on the ears. It's really hard to place these actually because they constantly fall off. I was really lucky to be able to place them and they just stayed. But yeah, and I set them with the super glue and make sure not to use a lot because it'll get absolutely everywhere. Now after that I'm just showing off my paints and everything, and I'm not sure if I'm going to show, but that little glue in the background, I'm pretty sure I showed, but I guess not. It's this craft glue that I got from the dollar store, and for some reason it just helps set the clay for some reason. And there I'm just showing off I'm showing just all of the paints that I'm using, and I'm using that little cup thing that I stole from my pantry, and I'm mixing up all the colors to get that base color that I really want. And originally I was going to use my airbrush, but we'll see what happens with that. I use a titanium white, a light brown. I don't exactly remember what the color was off the top of my head. You can go back because I showed them. That light blue doesn't really have a name on it. I'm not sure why. And then a brown, a darker brown, and white. And I'm using my airbrush thinner to thin it out for my airbrush. And before this, I cleaned out my airbrush, so it should have been perfectly fine. But I guess it got clogged or something. Because it just wasn't really working, and you'll see in a minute. And here is where you can see, because I was testing it out to see if it was maybe the color that I want or if there was any texture issues. As you can see, it just wasn't really working. So I just went off to painting it with a paintbrush. Not sure why I didn't show the progress. It might have just not saved or something, I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, I painted just a layer or two to see if I liked it. And then I completely forgot I needed to do my white layers on it first because I was like, why does this color look so dark? So yeah, I'm just getting some light, and I got some airbrush thinner so that it would be really thin and liquidy. Well, not really thin, but it'd just be really liquidy, and it would go on there easier instead of clumping up, because white paint clumps up really easily for absolutely no reason at all, but it does that a lot, and it can really mess up basically anything, like the paint job and everything, and it can clump up on your work and give a nasty texture basically. And I'm just airbrushing it on with my actual brush instead of using my machine that I bought. Don't mind the messiness. Now really quickly, I just wanted to say that the lighting and everything is not going to be the best because I was doing this in the middle of the night. So I got no daylight in or anything, so I just had to work with my LED lights and my lamp at my desk because I didn't have the other lamp with me. I hope this could do well. And yes, I was watching Markiplier in the background on my laptop. Now here I'm showing that I did all of the white bases, and this was the next day, so as you can see by the lighting, and so since that paint was not really usable at the moment, I had to remake it, and I didn't really like the color anyways. I didn't like how it turned out or anything, and I felt that if I try to remake it, oh yeah, there, I was showing you, but if I try to remake it in that little cup, it would just ruin the texture, so I'm doing it in a new cup. Showing all of the paints, the red, the blue, the brown, the white, just trying to get the right color, mixing it around. I'm trying not to use as much paint, but I had to use a lot of white. Yeah, I used a lot more than that, yeah. But yeah, so that's after I did all the layers and everything. I'm not sure why I didn't show the progress. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I'm showing that I'm doing some more, and what I do to speed up the drying process of the paint is I get this little mini hair dryer that I have, and there's a cool button, so it makes the air cold so I don't burn my hand or anything, or the LPS, and it just helps cool down the paint. And here I'm just showing off some of the more paints that I'm going to use to make like the dark blue color that I'm using. I actually end up not using that blue that I just showed because it was too dark and off color that I didn't really like it. But that other blue, the lighter blue that I used, and the black, those two I did use. So as you can see, I'm just mixing them around with the paintbrush. You can't really see it because my hand's in the way. But yeah, I'm just mixing in some blue and some black, trying to find the color because I don't have a lot of paint. In there, I'm thinking that I found the right color, so I'm starting to paint it on how I'd like it to be on the LPS. it's here when I realized that this color was not going to work and it was too dark and off color. So I started mixing up the other blue and the black separately, and I soon found the color that I liked, and I started painting over that darker blue that I used at first. Now there wasn't much of a difference, but it was enough to like actually, make a difference, and I like this one a lot more, and it shows a lot more in person than on camera. Now here is a little progress update thing that I did, showing that I paint, like where I painted basically, and now I'm showing the purple paint that I'm going to use. I really like how that blue turned out on the LPS. It's my absolute favorite. I wish I put it in a cup to keep it. But here I'm using a purple to make the lines on his face. I deeply apologize for how badly I am showing it on camera. I am using my phone to record. I have no fancy camera or stand or anything. Also, really quickly, I would like to apologize for the state of my voice. I have been recovering from a cold for about a week now, and it won't leave me alone, so my voice is a little off. And I deeply apologize about that. Now here I'm getting my dotting tool to attempt the eyebrows. It was really difficult to do it with the hair in the way, so I had to get my actual paintbrush, which I wouldn't say the eyebrows are my favorite, but they definitely would have looked a lot better if that hair wasn't there, because I would have had a lot better chance to make it look better, I guess. I'm not sure, but I didn't have like a lot of room or anything, and it was very difficult with the hair and the size of the dotting tool and everything. Now here I'm getting my other paints because I'm going to be working on the yellowish orange color on him. I'm finding my orange. which is that's the orange that I use. I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's an orange. And I use this bright yellow. These are not expensive paints, so you know, nothing is super crazy or anything. You know, just use whatever paints you need. So yeah, and I made the yellow lines wherever I wanted them. And here is where I'm making the white for the eyes. I don't like exact white, I guess. So I try to make it like a reddish, pinkish, purple white, I guess. I'm not exactly sure how to explain the color, but there is too dark, and I actually fixed it a bit later on. But I was confident in that color for some reason. But I did use that color for a shading for the eyes though, which is not very seeable, but that's perfectly fine. Yep, and there I'm showing the eyes, how I made it lighter and darker, the shading. And there I am just fixing up the eyebrows a little. And that's where I am starting the eyes. I used a burgundy color. I love burgundy so much. And I mix it in with a little bit of white at some point to just add a bit of rendering with the eyes. I first start off with the black for the pupils, which it looks extremely weird, but that's perfectly fine. Yeah, so I start off with that black, and then soon I'll go in with the burgundy, and I'll do it the lighter color first, and then a bit darker, like the natural burgundy. And here I thought I would do some like cheetah prints or something. I saw something with it on Pinterest, and I was like, oh my gosh, that'll look so cute. So yeah, it took a bit, and they weren't really the best because this is the first time I've ever done cheetah prints. And I was actually really proud of them too at the time. But yeah. Now here is where I start with a bit of a lighter burgundy. I'm not really doing well to do this, but I was trying for it to be still in the camera while still being close, so my face is like right next to the camera, because I don't really want to be seen, but I still want to be able to do good with this. Now obviously it isn't perfect first try or anything, so I'll obviously fix that up later. And here I'm just picking up some of the paint from the earrings since they're naturally just a plasticky metal thing, yeah. Now I ended up absolutely hating the cheetah prints, so I fixed it all up. And I finished with the eyes here since I thought I might as well. I just added some little highlights to them after fixing them up with the black. And here I'm still fixing up some of the cheetah prints so that they aren't seeable, I guess. Since that I don't want that to be a part of him. So I'm just covering up the prints because I really hated it. I felt like it was too much. There are too many patterns going on and it didn't look nice. And yes, I am watching Kenji in the background. Now here I'm getting a matte Mod Podge. And here I'm just drying off some of the paint, making sure that everything is dry before I put on the Mod Podge, because this is more of a finishing layer, just to protect the paint. Now, the only reason why I didn't want to put it on is because it made them look a little more shiny than I wanted, because I don't like when they look shiny. Now, you can get flat Mod Podge, but it's a lot more expensive, and I just didn't have it at the moment. I do have it on some of my older customs, though, that you can find at my shop on Macari, or you can just see on my Instagram. But here, I just didn't have it. So yeah. Now, first, before I put on the Mod Podge, I just remembered something, and I needed to put on paw prints. And I decided on the orangey highlight color that I've been using for the paw prints. And I found them actually really, really cute, too. And I'm just really quickly cleaning up some little things before, finishing them off. Those white little nose and everything. So yeah, now I'm drying them off with the hairdryer. I also added some little whiskers because I remembered one of the newer Oak LPS have that. I actually have him, but I really love it, and so I wanted that on this guy too. And since I haven't used this Mod Podge in a long time, it created some dried off parts of it on the top where the lid was, so I had to take that off. But the Mod Podge is still good. Now here I'm getting a gloss Mod Podge for the eyes and nose. I like the nose to just have like a little shine. I think it's really cute. It's a really cute addition, and this is actually an idea from LPS Cobalt. You guys can follow him. I really suggest it. He makes really cool customs, and he actually inspires me a lot with my customs. But anyways, here I just added that gloss to the eyes and nose, and I'm just using my hairdryer thing to dry off the Mod Podge, which is a really cool transition watching, since the Mod Podge looks really white. And I'm just showing him off a little, doing a little twirl and everything, and he is finished. And now it's time for the end results. Hello YouTube, this is the end of the video. I'm sorry that the movement of the LPS and my voice don't exactly match. I tried to voice over, but it just didn't work. This is the actual voiceover. But anyways, I hope you really enjoyed the video. I had a lot of fun making this video and a lot of fun making the LPS. If you want him, you can go over to my Macari, because he's on sale, before, he sells out. If you guys want to see more, head over to my socials, my Instagram and my Macari. They're in the description, as well as all of the products that I use to make these customs. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye!